The scent of copper and cheap lilac perfume lingered in the damp air of the Black-Briar Tavern, a wretched hole where the unseen hand came to scrub the blood from their fingernails. Elian, the assassin who had delivered the king's killing blow, sat in the corner, nursing a cup of wine. He was celebrating. He had slain a king and a Great Warden in a single afternoon. He felt untouchable. Then, the hearth fire turned violet. The temperature in the room plummeted. Frost crept across the floorboards, not in patterns of winter, but in the shape of grasping skeletal hands. A low, rhythmic thud echoed from outside, the sound of a mountain walking. The heavy oak door didn't just break, it detonated. Splinters the size of daggers flew through the air, impaling the barkeep before he could scream. Through the mist and the wreckage stepped a nightmare. Koda stood nearly 10 feet tall on his hind legs, his fur now a matted, ashen gray. His silver armor was fused to his rotting muscle, glowing with an inner necrotic heat. Koda's voice was a tectonic grind, vibrating in the very marrow of Elian's bones. The 3 other assassins in the room drew their blades, their faces pale. They were professionals, but they had never been hunted by a corpse. They lunged at once, their movements a blur of practiced lethality. Koda didn't even flinch. As the first assassin's blade sank into his shoulder, the bear didn't bleed. Instead, a thick, black smoke coiled out of the wound, lashing out like a viper and wrapping around the assassin's throat. Koda raised a massive, clawed paw. A pulse of necrotic power rippled through the floor. "I do not grant the mercy of the grave," Koda rumbled. "Rise." The barkeep, dead only seconds ago, lurched upright. His eyes snapped open, void of pupils, filled with that same baleful violet flame. With a wet, guttural snarl, the undead servant tackled one of the assassins, biting through leather and bone with mindless, tireless hunger. The second assassin tried to flee, but Koda's shadow elongated, stretching across the floor like a living tar. It rose up, solidifying into spectral chains that dragged the man back toward the Great Bear. Elian stood alone now, his hands shaking as he held his obsidian needle. "Stay back, beast. I killed you once." Koda stepped forward, each footfall cracking the stone foundation of the tavern. He reached out and caught Elian's head in a paw that could crush a boulder. He didn't squeeze, not yet. "Death was a gift you stole from my king," Koda hissed, his breath a foul wind of decay. "So I shall steal it from you." Koda leaned in close, and the violet fire in his eyes flared. He began to chant in a tongue that sounded like the crushing of dry leaves. Elian's skin began to gray. His veins turned black, crawling toward his heart while he was still wide awake and screaming. Koda wasn't just killing him. He was binding him. He was weaving Elian's soul into the very armor he wore, turning the assassin into a conscious, screaming prisoner within a rotting shell, forced to serve the bear's vengeance for eternity. As the light faded from the tavern, only the sound of Koda's heavy rhythmic thud remained, followed by the shuffling footsteps of his new, silent army.